Welcome back to A Rose Through Concrete Coach's Corner. This is episode number 5. Quick recap before we get into episode number 5. On last episode, we did our Wild Love Wednesday segment in which I shouted out or sent wild love out to my dad. Once again, love you, Dad. Shifting gears. Recently, I went to a conference that centered around domestic violence and domestic violence in the lives of children and the impact of domestic violence in the lives of children. And I got some very alarming information I figured I would share with you guys. Hopefully, this helps you understand a lot of the things that may be going on in our community or in the world at this point in time. But according to recent studies, children that experience domestic violence or grow up in a setting where domestic violence is prevalent tend to think that that behavior is normal. So much so that 30 to 60% of children that grew up in a domestic violence setting either become a victim or abuser in future relationships. Boys who have grown up witnessing domestic violence are twice as likely to abuse their child and their spouse as those who have not grown up in a domestic violence setting. Young ladies that grow up in domestic violence settings are 3 times as likely to become a victim of domestic violence. Children who grow up experiencing domestic violence or in a domestic violence setting tend to have problems with insomnia, bedwetting, issues in school, extremely high anxiety. And the most alarming thing that I got from the conference was that the greatest indicator of a domestic abuser is a child who's witnessed or who's been a part of domestic abuse. So what that tells me is that if we're looking to break the cycle, or if we want to stop the cycle, we have to recognize and be mindful of our arguments that we're having, the times we get into the tit for tat with our significant other or our spouse, because what's going on is that our child is downloading that information, and after a period of time, they're thinking that this is normal and this is normalized behavior, which it isn't. So we're creating our own monsters. So if we're mindful and if we can be mindful going forward of our interactions with our significant others, then I think we'll have much better outcomes for our children going forward. I hope this helps. I hope you guys take this into consideration. I hope you guys found it just as alarming as I did, and I hope you take the initiative to stop it if you're a part of a domestic violence situation.